All right, guys. So, what did some folks come up with about space aliens? If they came up and landed here. Now, here's the important part. Can't use any ray guns, no laser beams, no force fields, no crazy technology. You know, let's assume that, I don't know,
They were gonna do the
exactly, yeah. And they don't have any of their, stuff, any of their technology. So what kind of things, Nicole? They never die, they live a long time. Okay? So, long life. They have powers? Well, what do you think, what kind of powers would they have that would make them, you know, be successful here on this planet? More successful than us? Mind control, maybe? What about, what about if they could do things easier? What do you guys think about that, if they could do things easier? So,
Well, I think it would probably be population, because if there's one, there's probably like that was.
okay,
And then, my second one would be force the repairs crashing out of the sky, hit the earth really hard, then they have to be pretty strong to resist dying.
okay. So they're stronger,
Yeah, obviously.
and there's lots of them.
There's lots of them.
Right? So to paraphrase what Seth was saying, I think you're saying they're stronger and there's lots of them. Is that right? Okay, stronger. When we talk about ecology, what do we talk about when we say there's lots of them?
Population.
Population is one, but how does a population increase? They reproduce. So they reproduce at a very high rate. They have lots of babies, right? So, let's see, we'll just put lots of babies. And that just means that they reproduce at a really high rate. So, super smart battle strategy. So, they're really good at taking over resources, right? So they can take over the land pretty quickly because they're really smart and have a good strategy. Is that a good way to say that?
They bring like giant ferocious animals from the planet and like kill all of us and like kill us.
Okay, I would classify that as a type of technology though, you know, because they're kind of using a tool there. I'm talking about just stuff they can do.
They probably don't need oxygen to breathe.
Maybe they don't need oxygen to breathe, or maybe they're just better at breathing, you know?
They could brainwash us and learn how to use our guns in our lives.
Okay, they could brainwash us. So let's try and think of this in terms of ecology. So like we did with population, we said that they could reproduce a lot. And if they don't eat, maybe they breathe really well. So maybe for every 10 breaths I have to take, they only have to take one. You know, right? Well, Angel's suggestion was that they didn't need oxygen. So maybe they don't have to breathe as much as I do. So they're really, really efficient. Exactly. What if they came from someplace that didn't have oxygen?
They use another resource. Like
Exactly.
hydro-oxygen.
Right. Or maybe they use resources really, really well. Like for instance, I've got to go and get my bottle of water and drink it, right? What if one of the space aliens could just look at the bottle of water and drink it?
That's tiny.
You know? What if they drink water? Or maybe they don't. Maybe they can drink ocean water. And we can't drink ocean water.
Yeah, they,
Right.
all the time.
Right, right. So they live longer, right? So we talked about living longer, we talked about having lots of babies, and we talked about using resources more efficiently, like not breathing air, or breathing air better, or drinking water better. What other types of things does an animal or an organism or a space alien have to do when it goes to a new place to be successful?
They can just bring items and things that they need to go there.
Right, sure. They could bring stuff with them that they need, which is an interesting point. We're actually going to learn a little bit about that here later. Ian, did you have a comment? No? Nicole? They never get tired? Okay. So they never get tired. They're using, what I'm getting here is folks are saying, you know, they either don't breathe oxygen or they breathe it really well or they never get tired. So, and somebody else said they were stronger. So what does that all equate to? In my mind, when I think of ecology and I think of space aliens and invading and things, I think that they're using the resources better. What do you guys think of that?
Let's say if they wanted to come down to Earth, could they like scale someone up, get the size themselves as a human, and take over the body and use it as their own?
There was a whole movie, a really great movie about that called Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But yeah, maybe they're like a fungus or something that takes over your brain.
Parasite?
They have to get used to a new environment.
They'd have to get used to the new environment. Maybe they would change the environment, like Gigi had suggested they would bring stuff with them to make it easier for them to live. Maybe they actually change the environment that they live in, you know? So just by being here, maybe, you know, they give off some funky gas that they breathe.
Where they have
rather than-
tentacles.
Or they have tentacles. So they can use a lot of stuff all at the same time.
Okay, so are you saying attack the block?
Serena?
No, I,
But maybe they're a lot like us. Maybe attack the block, they're mammals and they have growth. And they send the female out first and then the female leaves tracks for the males follow. And, yeah, it's just a really good.
okay, all right. Vicky?
Have you guys ever seen critters? They're like these things from space, and every time they eat, they grow bigger, and they roll up into balls, and they roll around. And
Okay.
they have these really sharp.
Okay, so we said long life, stronger, lots of babies, and use of resources, but maybe they grow really quickly, right? So maybe they, we'll say rapid growth.
They're really big, like size.
Mr. Let's counted as
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. So when we think about invading things, whether they be space aliens or invasive species like we were talking about yesterday, there are certain characteristics that those species have that make them successful in invading a new area, okay? Ecologists actually have a special term for it. It's called R-selected, but you guys don't have to know that. But they have lots of babies. They use resources really well. They grow really fast. A lot of times they're a lot stronger or a lot better suited for the environment. And sometimes they live a really long time. So those are all characteristics of species that end up invading other areas. Ladies, are you with me? Thank you. So what I want you guys to do is everybody's got a box on their table, okay? So the box, imagine the box as a landscape, okay? It's an area of the desert. And your white beads, these little white beads, these are your native species. In our space alien examples, these would be humans, okay? The red beads are your invading force, okay? What I want you to do is just do this a couple of times at your table. Take the white beads in your hand and just set your arm right on the edge like that and drop the white beads, okay? And see how far they spread. Then I want you to do the same thing with the red beads and see how far they spread. And then we're going to talk about what do you think that means when we talk about invasions. Okay, so what's going on here? What do you notice about?
White ones are going to
Right, that's good. The right white beads don't go as far as the red beads. Yeah. Think about also like what happens. Okay, so you got two red beads here, right? So that means, yeah, it is. Yeah, sure. So what do you guys notice? Yeah, the red ones scatter more than the white ones. Try it again. Do your best, guys, to keep the beads kind of contained. I don't want to have to sweep up a bunch of beads. How are you guys doing? What do you see there?
I go first.
About how the beads are going? How are you guys doing? Maybe. But, you know, the other thing is, remember, it takes, for a lot of organisms, and for most animals, it takes two to make babies, right? So if you have only one bee landed in one, you can't necessarily make the thing spread. We'll give you guys another couple of minutes. I want you guys to think about what you see when you drop those beads. You know, what's the differences between the white beads and the red beads?
They're different colors.
There are. Okay, I want everybody at the table to be able to look at it and see how yeah. All right, so what did you guys notice about how the beads fell? Well, yes, they bounce, but specifically the differences between the red and the white beads. What did you guys notice? The red beads cover the white.
The whites are the white ones are basically the producers, and the whites are white.
Okay, you could think of it that way. The white ones may be producers and the red ones may be consumers. There are a lot more red ones than white ones, right? Rosé, you had a good observation earlier. Can you share that with everybody about what the difference between the reds and the whites were? I need everybody to please focus.
The red ones go farther than the white.
The red ones go farther than the white. So So the red ones can actually spread out a lot more than the white ones can, right? That's probably because of one of these factors when you think about organisms and invaders. What else did you guys notice? Stacy, I think you had a good observation. There was more red beads than white beads. So the red beads are having more babies than the white beads.
The white beads and the red beads are different shapes?
They are different shapes. What does that do for them?
These are kind of small, so they can roll.
That's right. Did everybody hear what Seth just said? Seth, can you shout that out for us one more time?
The red ones are balls, so they can roll, and the white ones aren't, so they can't.
Right. The white ones are shaped in such a way that they can't go as far. Right? The red ones actually are shaped in such a way that they can go further. So they have, if we were to think of this in ecological terms, the red ones have adapted to be able to move a lot more than the white ones have. Right? What else? Anybody notice anything else about the beads? About the difference in the beads and when you dropped them, what happened? So we got more of them, right? Sure, Jim.
When I get like kind of close to the bottom, red gold and red like blue, and then they get white.
Right, so it kind of depended on how high your hand was when you dropped them, on how widely dispersed they went, how far they went.
Most of the white ones like stayed around, but all the red ones like went out more.
Right. The red ones went crazy. They went out all over the place. So not only were there more of them, but they moved better. What did I do with my little, there it is.
And be sure to
So
click on the
high
pen.
mobility.
Be sure to click on the pen part on the menu.
So the point of all this, guys, was to get you guys thinking about the characteristics of invasive species, okay? All invasive species have some of these characteristics, if not all of them, okay? We're gonna actually look at a plant that is an invasive species here in this area. It's called tamarisk, otherwise known as salt cedar. I don't know the scientific name. But you're gonna see that tamarisk is stronger, has a lot more babies, it uses resources differently. Because it has a lot of babies, it can move pretty far in terms of when it reproduces. And it grows really fast. The other thing I want to get back to is Gigi's comment. It can also alter its environment. So whenever we talk about invasive species, these are the types of characteristics that we're looking for, that we see in those species. Okay? So as we go through and we talk about tamarisk, and as we go through and talk about zebra mussels or mustangs or bullfrogs or crayfish or any of these other invasive species, I want you guys to be looking for these types of characteristics, okay? Because that's what makes an invasive species successful in a new environment. Any questions? Okay, as we continue to work today, I would like it very much if you guys would sort your red beans and your white beans out and put them back in the bag. Okay? We're going to move on and talk about tamarisk. All right? Got them all back? Perfect. Those are back, please.
here.
At my house, I don't know, we had Kit Kats, we had Reese's, we had Snickers, we had,
That's it. I thought you passed out.
A lot of areas will send you, you don't know, you don't know.
yeah.
Some people do. But I still got it.
Sometimes I used to get off money. Just change, just loose change. Well, you know, that way you can save up for college.
Brian, can you try to get the red ones on before I'll run the table? If some of them might sit down.
Thank you.
Okay. Good job, thank you.
Let's see, what candy house is it?
Good job, guys.
Is there a way to get your candy?
Mike. Put it back. Put it back, put it back. Very good, thank you, guys.
Put them on the back table.
Sure. I'm gonna take these and put them on
You
the
can
back.
have it, somebody from each
Yeah,
table.
why doesn't the equipment manager from each table please put those back on the table for us?
Okay, we should get out the worksheet that we started with yesterday. You know what, I'm gonna move this table a bit so we can do that.